So there's a couple tips and tricks.
Hello. Welcome to downtown Los Angeles, friends.
And family. I'm Kid Lips.
And you got your boy Groobies here.
And we are here today to talk about how to price your products and ensure that your brand will be successful. Post your comments below around how you approach pricing. Have you gone premium? Are you super pricey? Or do you try to keep things super accessible and go as low as possible?
Pricing, very tricky. You want to jump in and talk about channels first?
Sure, we'll talk about channels first, yeah. So we see three core ways or channels where you can sell your product. Online on the internets, retail and physical stores, and then face-to-face, just meeting people in your daily life. Let's start with online. When you are selling online, you might be selling through your own website, in which case you gotta set up a site, you gotta pay for whatever hosting you're on. It might be Shopify or WooCommerce or BigCartel. That has a little bit of a cost associated with it. Most likely you'll be charged credit card processing fees. You may wanna, that's normally around 3%. You may want to offer shipping as a free option, or you're going to have to charge for it. Shipping can be 5 to 10%, sometimes 15% of your product if it's free. If you're charging for it, great, you add that on top of the product price. But all these are factors that are going to affect your pricing. So you might think, oh, selling online is super cheap, but in fact, it can add up when you have your own website, especially because you need to get people to that website. So then you have to spend more on marketing, right? You might want to do ads on Facebook or on Google or other sites. You might want to do PR, get the word out through press and through blog posts. Maybe you do content, you make videos, that could cost money. Whatever it is, make sure you have a budget so you can drive traffic and eyeballs to that website you created. So normally, a t-shirt online, let's say you're charging $20 for a tee, that means that you want to spend between 8 and 10 for it, and make sure that you also have another $2, $3 built in for marketing and for your costs associated with it. And you want to sell a lot of t-shirts in order to make it make sense. There's other ways to sell online that reduce the cost. Maybe it's Etsy or Amazon or eBay. They're great sites. There's a lot of traffic on those sites. Definitely good ways to sell there. That said, they also take their percentages, so you just want to bake that into how you're determining pricing and be aware of it. There's also online retailers, right? So a big site, Nordstrom's, we used to sell on Karmaloop. Hypebeast has a store. There's so many different ways you can sell online through retailers. Retailers, they might buy your product, hold it, and sell it for you, or they might ask you to drop ship. In either case, they're doing a lot of the marketing, they're putting a lot of money out to get eyeballs to your product, and they're gonna pay you less in margin, basically. They're gonna take more for your product. So, where you might be seeing 50% margins online for you selling direct from your site, through retailer it's probably gonna be more like 30%, or you're gonna have to mark up your product more, and if you build your pricing model around retailers, understand, okay, this is gonna be a more expensive product because I'm selling it through retail channels. So there's online. Offline, face-to-face, right? So maybe you're in college or you're in high school, you run into people all the time. A Pleek started on a college campus, just meeting friends. I made hoodies, they wanted them, I stitched them up for them. It wasn't a lot of cost in hosting the product and opening a store and marketing it, because I was just meeting people. I could have gone to festivals or sports games and set up a booth, so there's some cost associated with that. You want to get your table, you want to get your banners, and get people to see it. So there's certainly a couple areas where costs can start to come up in the face-to-face, but it's a very affordable way to build. And in that case, you can really get great margins there. So you could, again, be spending $10, $20 on a product, resell it for double that, sometimes more, and people are willing to pay for it because they can see it, they see you wearing it, there's kind of the social proof, other people might be rocking it and supporting it, and together it becomes a desirable thing. So the third channel is retail. Retail is probably the toughest one, both to get into and also to make money in. A lot of costs associated with retail that people don't think about. In some cases, when you're just getting started, you can walk into a retail store and they might take your product on consignment. So that means they'll put it on the racks, but if it doesn't sell, you don't get anything. And if it sells, then they'll pay you, but they might pay you 30, 60, 90 days after it's sold. And they're just gonna pay you the cut. So you have to negotiate that up front. Usually it's around 50% of the retail price. So that's one way to sell retail, but it's a big risk because you're making the product and you may or may not get paid on it. The other way is to sell the product up front. Again, you might be able to go into a store and do that, or you may want to work with a sales team. Sales teams will do that for you, but then they'll take their 10, 15, 20% cut in order to be effective. And so you got to be conscious of their cut and then also the retailer's cut. Retailers are only going to want to, maybe do a 50% margin, sometimes less. So if you get 50% back, immediately 20% goes to your sales team. You have your other product costs on there. That can really whittle away. So at the end of the day, your profits might only be 10%, if that. So in order to make money in retail, you got to sell a huge amount of volume and really get out there, or have other ways to bypass the traditional structure so you're not putting all your money into getting into the retail store. Over to you, Groobies.
First and foremost, how are you going to position the product overall? And so are you going for like a very premium product, almost to the luxury end of the spectrum? Or are you thinking about just like a standard kind of basic product that you want to make very accessible to a wide range of consumers, and therefore it needs to be priced kind of on par with what market expectations are? So for a t-shirt, we really see t-shirts in the $20 to $30 range. For hoodies, we're really thinking like $30 to $45 range-ish. With that being said, if you're going for a more premium offering, and a lot of people that we talk to and interact with every day want to have a more premium product, I think that it's just worthwhile to think about the things that go into a product to make it premium. There could be a lot of different things that make it premium. It could be that you have a celebrity that's backing that product, and by the way of having the celebrity's endorsement, it attaches a premium value to the product. It could be that you have a special licensing deal. Maybe you know somebody who owns a famous piece of artwork, or a famous musician who's releasing an album, and by associating your clothing line with that artist and that artist's work and getting their endorsement, that also shares their premium value with your product line. And when you have a premium product, you can take that standard range that products sell for, and you can increase the price by anywhere from 25 to even 100% of that standard price. So for a t-shirt, from going 10 to 30 bucks, you could have a $30 to $45 t-shirt, something along those lines. You're also going to need to do things in terms of how you package your product and how you ship your product. Ethan talked about these things. He was really just talking about stuffing the thing in an envelope, getting it in the mail, and getting it to the end customer. But when the customer undoes that package, are there stickers in there that you want to include? What are the costs for those stickers going to be? Are you putting a hang tag on the product? Are there posters that are going along with the product? What are the other things, like special boxing or packaging, that's going into that product? All these things can add a little bit of cost to the product, but they can, on the premium side of the product, they can go and create a lot of value. Also, just in terms of how are you constructing the product itself? Are you using like a premium made in America base garment? Do you have a woven label that's sewn into the product? These are things that are valuable and that people expect with a premium product. So you can't price your product as a premium product unless you're doing the things in your product that also make it a premium product and that people expect from a premium product. And all of those things you have to build into the cost side. And then if you're shooting for a 50% margin just on your product cost, you could look at whatever your cost is and multiply it by 2. And that would be your price to get you to a 50% margin. When Ethan started Applique, when you look at the product he was delivering, it was made specifically for one customer. And Ethan included the person in the creation of that product. He would work with them to source a fabric that's specific for them. And that person knew that Ethan or Ethan's friend was sewing it for them. So it was like a one-of-one product. So Ethan was building towards that premium type of product, just in his product experience that he was delivering, and letting the person be involved in the creation of the product. So it doesn't always need to be a sticker or hang tag. It can be different for every brand. Another great premium example is working with a charity or a nonprofit. And so when I'm buying the product, I'm also supporting a specific cause. And that's powerful in that your product is making that impact.
There's a couple cool tips and tricks around how you approach numbers in general. I've found that Usually the kind of $4.99 model where you add that 99 cents or 95 cents to the end of the product can sometimes be effective. We also do 50 cents where you might be able to squeeze out an additional little bit into your pricing. The cents can sometimes psychologically make customers feel like I'm not paying $50 even though it's $49.99. For whatever it is, there's a psychological thing there, and that's why products are often priced with the 99 cents. Also, there's certain numbers that work well for sales. $36, $24, $29. Those are numbers that are pretty reasonable. We can wrap our heads around for a t-shirt, maybe 34. That said, if you go to 27 or 31, for whatever reason, a lot of those odd numbers, they just don't get as much good feeling. I don't know why, but psychologically there's some research around that. There it is. There you have it. Your price, your cost, all these fancy numbers.
We hope this video was helpful for you guys in terms of just the things to think about when you're pricing the product. We don't have all the answers. Every pricing situation is different. It's gonna be different for your brand. Use the comments below as a forum. Tell us what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
Let us know. Let everyone else in the community know. And we can all be a little bit better that way. So thanks for joining. Feel free to subscribe for one video per week and continue to get information about building your brand.
Yeah.
What he said.